Hello, I'm Anthony. Today, I've got something a little bit different for you. I've been in the course of writing a new piece of music over the past few weeks. It's currently unnamed. And it's not finished either. But over the past few weeks, I've basically been recording myself on the phone. What you can see here is past me recorded on my phone, just so that I didn't forget what the notes were, because my brain is like a sieve. And so I've started to develop the habit over the past couple of years of recording everything the moment I get anything even remotely approaching an interesting idea. I'm also going to talk about the concept of evolving a piece of music particularly on the acoustic guitar. That's what this is all about. Because the technical process of working out where to play notes on an acoustic guitar is just very challenging. So let's get this underway, and I'm kind of going to talk over the top of it, and anything interesting we'll kind of stop and have a chat about. Now, the thing that it initially struck me was the combination of this E minor. Just going to move to a B7 soon. So I knew that those two chords sounded nice together. Now at the time I had no idea what the key was. When I'm writing a piece of music on the acoustic guitar, I generally kind of play blind, and if there's a combination of chords that happens to kind of not fit comfortably into any given key, I'm okay with that. I'll work around it. I will ultimately always resolve something down to an actual scale, so that if I want to write a melody or some sort of backing to it, I've at least got some sort of structure to play with. But I think it's much more creatively interesting to start out just playing what sounds nice and then go back and figure out later. Now, I'm not even sure the notes that I'm fretting at the moment are a fully qualified B7. Let's have a listen. That's definitely E minor. Oh, I'm trying to figure out how to transition from one chord to the next. Yeah, I can't quite tell. My fingers are obscuring it, but if it was a B7, I would be playing the D sharp on the fourth string, and I don't think I am. At some point in the evolution, you hear those chords work. The important thing is that there's two chord passage that's going backwards and forwards between them. I know that's enough. That's enough of a kernel of an idea to write that down and just start messing around with it. Over the course of these videos, you'll see all of these different ideas evolve. Basically working out what the scale's going to be at this point. Very soon, I'm going to figure out the three notes that I need. It's not that one. That's a bad note. Right at the very beginning, it's always a bit ugly. I think at that point, my brain immediately registered, God damn, that was the note I was trying to find. I knew there was something in there. Every songwriter will know what I'm talking about here. Somewhere you're kind of feeling for it. You know what it is, or you know what it isn't. That's it. You know what it isn't. And you're just basically hoping you'll actually find out what it is. It's that note. And now I'm working out the scale, and there it is. That three note transition, D sharp, E, F sharp, is the three notes upon which basically everything else is going to hang together. And it's kind of surprising looking back on this stuff. I think it's a really good idea to record yourself practicing, because you actually find those moments when things occur, and you need to kind of get better at finding them, get better at identifying when something's happened, when something kind of with potential has just occurred. that's it. There's enough there to hang a song off. It's going to take a lot of development, but we've got that kernel of an idea, the basic. Now I'm trying to figure out where to go next. Those two chords, I'm not actually sure. It's some sort of variation of an E. Let's find out what it is. I always draft in Guitar Tutor when I don't know what a chord is. So the chord that I'm playing is this E minor add 9. You can actually play kind of an open string thing and it sounds really nice, but it's the bottom 4 notes that are really that are the important ones. So it would ordinarily be kind of an E minor and you throw this F sharp all the way up here. It just sounds really nice. Now in the context of this song, it survives for quite a long time. You're going to see that idea hang around for quite a while. Eventually it does get abandoned because the chord's not quite right, but it's the best I've got so far. That's the C major 7. I think I'm going to noodle around on this one for quite a while now. I think this is actually kind of the last part of the... Yeah, there you go. So I felt... I've not watched this back. I've watched this back once before making this video, but I could tell that I was getting bored and that I'd run out of inspiration, and past me agrees, and that's me turning the phone off thinking, no, I'm done. Those 4 chords are enough. I'll come back another time and work on it a little bit more. I'd also spent quite a few weeks not playing the guitar, and my fingers were absolutely wrecked after about 10 minutes of playing. So I was having to do this in very short bursts. So here are a few days later. I'm kind of unearthing this with you as we go. Like I say, I've only played this stuff back once, and it's kind of nice to watch it from a fresh perspective, to see how those ideas have evolved over a few days of kind of noodling around. That chord's still surviving, the E minor add 9. Neither of those chords are going to survive. This one does. Pauline's emptying the dishwasher in the background. Okay, so they're simple chords played at a different place. I believe it's an A minor traveling up to a C major. There are lots of open strings involved, and the open strings actually really matter. When you play the A minor on the 5th, 4th and 3rd strings, I'm only fingering 3 frets. It leaves the B open. There is a B in A minor, and that open string can ring, and it just sounds absolutely glorious. That leaves me the opportunity to play the open string, and then I'm kind of bringing fingers in over the top to play the higher notes. The takeaway is that it's just really easy to transition from one chord into the next. It's not just a case of playing chords. I want this to be a performance piece. I want to be able to actually perform this piece continuously from start to finish. And so it's essential that I, with my limited skills, can actually perform it. So when I'm working out chords, I'm working out chords that I'm physically capable of playing. I don't care about the fluffs at this point. It's not about technical perfection. Now I'm eventually going to figure out those chords 3 and 4 in that sequence, the E minor add 9 into C major 7, eventually get binned partially because I can't kind of effectively transition from one chord shape to the other. I definitely want this A minor. They also kind of suck. They're not the chords that the song really needs, and so they're kind of going to get abandoned from two different angles. But this open string kind of idea up here is definitely a keeper. I just need to figure out how I can get to it. I've still only got the verse at this point. I think in this session I haven't yet figured out what the chorus is going to be. The ability my first finger there, you can see it kind of hovering over the fret. So I'm currently playing that open B string. That index finger is eventually going to come down and fret. I can't even see what fret it is. It's around about 7 and 8, the F sharp and the G. I'm eventually going to be playing those with my index finger and middle finger. See, this physical process of working out the logistics. How am I going to play the notes I want to play? And there you go. I'll kind of let that middle finger come off the G string. It's mostly done its job. And when it disappears, the other notes around it are kind of supporting the gap. And then it can come up and do duty on the B string, playing that G. And that's it. That's it for that session. That chord's still surviving. Chorus. Yeah. Oh, now. Yeah, I do kind of have a bit of a play with these hammer-ons. This is a B and a C, B major and C major. At this point, in fact, between those two sessions, I've decided that the piece is in E harmonic minor. There were a couple of notes that were sort of not in the right key from chords that I was playing, and I've adjusted them so that they are now fully in E harmonic minor. And then that kind of, I've already had the inspiration moment. The basis of the song is up and running. Now I can say, right, well, having made that decision, what other chords have I got to play with? And it's kind of an easy win. I get all of these free, easy chords out of the book. I mean, if we have a look at E harmonic minor, I've basically just now got this roadmap of ever increasingly complex chords. These are triads, 4-note, 5-note chords, and there's plenty to go out there. You can see I'm playing the B major and the C major, keeping it nice and simple for those two chords. This is where the chorus is. I abandoned these hammer-ons. You can also tell I've only just started playing it because I'm not fingering those chords well at all. I'm massively out of practice. So that's quite a nice run-up. Let's have a chat about that. I'll bring Guitar Tutor back in again. So what I've basically done here is I want to do that kind of chordal slide. I like the idea. And then I'm literally looking at the fretboard saying, well, what chords can I play? There's a 3-note section here, which is some sort of like G augmented kind of business. The D sharp to the G and the B and the B. So I've got that, and then I'm kind of sliding up. I think initially I just slid that structure all the way up to be able to play G, B and D sharp, and that's like a really easy win. But ultimately, I think I've changed one of those positions. The chords aren't quite that simple anymore. I'll have to find out what I've done. But it's the idea of, now that I've got my scale and I've got all of the notes on the fretboard and I want to do this kind of slide up business, what's going to sound good? So I'm just going to tinker around with that idea now. might be it for that one. Yeah, that's just the chorus appearing. Oh, this is today. So we're right up to date now, which is why I'm in my kind of recording setup mode. I'm not recording this on the phone now. So just before I press record, I thought, well, I'll give you like a fully up-to-date version of the song as it currently exists. This is what we've got. Oops, it's massively louder than the phone. Let's try that again. That's a nice little CB, what is it, A kind of thing. I'm just messing around with the upper notes, finding things that my fingers are capable of doing. What's in easy reach, what sounds good. Kind of do a Venn diagram of those two ideas and you get new ideas pop out. Okay, so those are the chords that have they've replaced that the E minor add 9 kind of business, and these are the chords that I think that these are the winners. Don't even know what that is. No wonder I didn't know what it is. It really isn't a thing. Those are the 4 notes that I'm playing. What shall we call it? I don't know. I suppose C sharp 11, I guess. Anyway, the notes sound good. And that's me just figuring out how I'm going to get from that chord. I want to get there. That's the A minor that I want to be able to get to eventually, so that I can play that open B, which is a really important kind of ringing effect of the sound. And I've finally figured out a way that I can get from one chord to the next. I just need to learn how to play it now. Okay, so I can probably spend 20 minutes talking about that chord there. That's a C minor, and C minor's not in E harmonic minor, but it just sounds really good. The inspiration from it came from, I was listening to A Day in the Life by the Beatles the other day, and I just thought, oh, that chord transition is so gorgeous. What are they doing? There's a sequence of chords where George Harrison plays D major, which is in the key, into a D minor, which isn't in the key, and then he resolves down to A major, and it's utterly, utterly glorious. This is a very well-known concept. It's the idea of parallel keys. If you're playing, basically you can kind of borrow chords from, if you play in A major, you can kind of flip to A minor. And the idea that I kind of stole from this Beatles song worked its way into this song. So now I'm going from B major to B minor, and it just sounds really exotic and lovely. I have to figure out yet how to work it properly into the song, but this is the beginning of the idea. Then we fall back into key. There's A minor. So it's really starting to sound like a song now. Bridge. E minor down to B major. C major. Here comes the B minor again. wanted a little kind of cavatina-esque rundown here. And back into the chord again, so you can hear already after, it's probably about 3 weeks, we're really getting there. I'm also starting to learn how to play it. Kind of that comes along for free. I don't really ever worry about the technicality of playing it. If you practice something enough, it kind of just happens accidentally anyway. But eventually I'll have to tighten that up and get my fingers much closer to the frets. See this colossal gulf here? You know, those fingers are not being accurately fretted enough. That one's fine. But that's where your string buzz is going to come from. That kind of technical tweaking will come later. Now it's just a process of kind of learning the notes, figuring out how they all work, and can I get all of these transitions in place to turn it into a song? The answer is pretty definitively yes at this point. Now I'm just kind of tweaking it, finding where those bells and whistles live, you know, to make it a proper song. Hope you enjoyed this one. Please hit like if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Helps me out with all the YouTube stuff. I'll see you again. Thanks very much.